All right, hello everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, I guess I should say, everyone. How's everybody doing? Hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys had a good day away from my streams. As you guys know, I was not here yesterday on the stream. It was my day off, and got a lot done. Had a nice day with Kat, which was nice, and now I'm back. I am refreshed and ready for a full week of streaming with you guys. And it's a fun week coming up. Allow me to explain some of the scheduling and everything that's going to happen this week. I think you guys are going to like it because this week is going to be a ton more variety than we had, say, last week. All right. So first off, guys, today is Sunday, April 29th, 2018. All right. And if you guys are not aware, very down to the wire, last chance. If you guys want to pledge to my Patreon for this month and get in on the Patron's Choice playthrough, I just want to make this a prevalent thing early here on the stream because it is the last chance. If you want to pledge $5 or more to my Patreon and be nominating and voting on games that will become a full-length playthrough, all right, then you definitely should be doing so right away, all right? If you have not, and you miss out, I mean, that's an unprecedented amount of power. Just think about that. You're going to be nominating and voting on a game that's thousands of people are going to be watching probably over the course of the summer, you know, starting in June more than likely. So please consider, pledging to my Patreon over at patreon.com/darksidephil. I'm very appreciative of anyone else who does. You must pledge by the end of tomorrow. Tomorrow is Monday, the 30th of April, in order to get in on that event. And I just want to throw that out there before we talk about anything else. All right. All right, very nice. By the way, shout out to Vig Stream. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Who says this is the first stream of mine that they're attending. Well, welcome. This is the pre-stream. I have to do a few plugs and talk about scheduling and stuff for a little bit, and then we're gonna have over 4 hours of Bloodborne gameplay on the stream. So I hope you have fun with today's stream. Okay. Also, before we get started, I should just throw this out there. As you guys can see, since this is Bloodborne, and it's a game I've already played before, we will have these stream stats at the top of the stream during the course of the stream, which means if you subscribe to the channel, or if you cheer, or if you tip me, any of those things, you have a chance of, getting your credit for it right here live on stream. I will be keeping track of the top cheerer and top tippers during the course of the stream. So far, no one has cheered or tipped, but I will update that appropriately. Sounds good? All right, so let's talk, guys. I'm coming back to Bloodborne after a week away. I took a big detour there for the release of God of War, and I played the living hell out of God of War this last week. And now I'm taking a few days away as a break on purpose so that I don't get burnt out on it, and also so my viewership doesn't get burnt out, all right? The good news is that YouTube views have been incredibly good during the God of War launch week. The bad news is streams really were not very good whenever I was playing God of War. It's funny because I did mix it up this week and played Ultra Street Fighter 2 as well as PUBG. And when I did so, the stream went crazy good. Like, views were high. People really enjoyed it, and people were very, gracious with participation and the like, with, cheering, subbing, and tipping whenever I wasn't playing God of War. So this is definitely a game that's either one of two cases. Either people are so busy playing it themselves, they don't want to be spoiled, so they just want to watch it on YouTube on demand, which would explain why the YouTube views were so high for a full week. Or this is a game that's, more fun to play than watch, which in a lot of cases is what happens with these big AAA releases as well. So it is what it is. So that being said, now the YouTube views have tapered off, which I knew was going to happen. I knew that after about a week, this is what happens with every new release. Even if it's the hottest game on the planet, after a week, attention dies down, especially when you get a game as long as God of War is. Keep in mind, I played it some 7+ major sessions. So you're talking, I'm a good 25 to 30 hours into the game, and I'm still not done with it. So attention is going to wane. It's very hard to retain attention span for an elongated period of time anywhere, on stream or on YouTube. It's very tough, okay? More than likely what will happen is people will eventually watch the rest of the playthrough on demand at their own leisure. But for now, the big, week of great YouTube views that I was getting has declined, and I'm pretty much back to the old YouTube viewership that I had beforehand, all right? So that being said, That's why this week I'm going to be doing variety in my streaming, as I'm about to explain. We're going to see the return of some things that haven't been around for a while. Bloodborne is now going to continue and be balanced with the continuation of God of War, all on purpose so that things don't stagnate here. Okay? Alright, so let's talk, guys. Today is Bloodborne The Redemption Run continuing on. 4+ hours of Bloodborne gameplay here on the stream. What can you expect? Well, for those of you who maybe don't remember, because it was over a week ago now, or maybe those of you who have not been following along this playthrough, you know, as much as you would like to, I am in the middle of the Shrine of Mensis. Yes, the Shrine of Mensis, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm in a part where I believe there's probably about an hour of gameplay before I get to a boss fight. I'm trying to remember, you know, obviously I only played this game once ever, way back in, you know, 2015, so it's hard for me to remember absolutely everything about it. I have been remembering a lot, which is good, but I certainly have not been remembering everything about the game. So I can't definitively tell you, oh, I've got this much left in the Shrine of Mensis. What I remember is I know I pretty much just got into the area, so I've got more to go. I believe there's a boss fight going on, if I remember correctly. I need to chase this jerk who has the cage on his head. It's a really weird boss fight. It's very different from what you would expect from Software. You got to chase him like through this area, this maze, and fight him. And you know, his minions that come out, you got to fight, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. And then I think after that there's more, and if I remember correctly, then there's an area with a ton of those guys with the brains on their heads, the mutated freaks that cause frenzy. And that's a really tough part of the game because those guys really fuck you up badly, if I remember correctly. And then after them, there's the final area, and then I believe you have to fight the wet nurse, Merlot's wet nurse. A nice, delicious Merlot wet nurse. And I think then that's really the end of the game, because then you choose to go fight the final boss or not. But I will not be. Instead of continuing on and fighting the final boss, then once I'm done with the Nightmare of Mensis, I'm going to be going to do the Old Hunters DLC, which is actually the intended order that the game developers intended you to play the game, is that it's supposed to be the last thing you do before you beat the game. Alright. So, we shall see how it goes. Will today be a stream of triumph, where I just turbo through the Nightmare of Mensis, no problem, and I'm able to move on to the Old Hunters? Or will it be pain and suffering? I remember the first time I did the Nightmare of Mensis, it was quite difficult. I died a bajillion times. So I guess we'll see how it goes today. Alright, also keep in mind, I haven't played Bloodborne now in a week and a half, so I'm going to probably be a little rusty. So please forgive me for some, you know, silly antics at the beginning here till I get used to playing the game again. Alright. If I'm wondering why my Spartan Rage won't activate, you'll know why. Because I've been playing God of War like crazy for the past week. Okay. So that's today's stream, guys. And I hope you guys get hype, you know, all during the Bloodborne streams previously. You guys came out in droves. You really enjoyed watching me play. Again, your contributions during those streams were excellent. All right. And so I just want to say thank you, anyone who had previously tuned into the Bloodborne playthrough. You guys are quite awesome. That's why I was actually shocked when I started playing God of War and I saw a huge dip in not only attendance but participation and everything. I was like, what happened here, you know? But then I figured out it was people watching on YouTube later as they played the game themselves and didn't want to be spoiled on stream. Obviously, that's not the case with Bloodborne. The game's 3 years old. Kind of hard to get spoiled on the game. See what I mean? So it should be fun. Alright, so that's today's stream. Later tonight, I will be doing the weekend preview. And a few other things. You know, personal stuff, paying bills and stuff. So that's it for my day today. Tomorrow, I return to double streams. Alright? Tomorrow, I'm going to be playing God of War on my first stream. Continuing on now with probably trying to take on that Valkyrie one more time who whooped my butt the other day. And then probably going to just continue on with the story at this point. Okay? And then Monday night, I'm going to be doing PUBG. And I know some people might be saying, what? Why PUBG again? Well, I played PUBG on Friday. The turnout was amazing. The contributions, positivity around the stream was amazing. It was the most participation of people interacting with me on a stream that I've seen in weeks. And I was like, holy shit, you know, I kind of forget that PUBG brings out this kind of interactivity between my stream viewers and me, and I loved it. So I am going to be doing PUBG again Monday night. Now, there is a bad news. All right, when I played PUBG on Friday night, it was really fun because there was a new map that they were testing on the Xbox One. It was the sand map, you know, the desert or whatever it is. Okay. And it was quite good. It was quite fun. And I was like, you know, this would be great for me to do all week. Well, guess what? The test server ends tonight. Yeah. As dumb as that sounds, they only had it running for a few days and only for a few hours late at night every night. So I'm actually lucky that I had the chance to play on that test server when I did. It was just a coincidence that the one day I wanted to return to PUBG, the test server was running. But now it's gone. Now, what people are saying is that they're probably going to bring back the test server in May, either to test again, or they may just add it permanently to the game on Xbox One as a permanent map. All right. So that sucks. I mean, I do want to play PUBG this week, and I will still be doing it, but it sucks because we can't play on the new map. So more than likely, I'll be doing PUBG maybe 1 to 2 times, but that's it. I doubt I'm going to be playing PUBG a million times on the same map over and over this week. But Monday night, I will be doing PUBG. All right. So for those of you who love that interactivity, that style of stream, it will return Monday night. Tuesday, I'll be going back to Bloodborne the Redemption run, and that'll be my main stream. Now, depending on how things go, Tuesday may be the end of my Bloodborne Redemption run because I may finish the Old Hunters DLC, or it may just continue to hand me my ass in a paper bag, and I will not beat it at all, and I'll have to need another stream, all right? So it all depends on how things go, I guess. So then Tuesday night, I'll be continuing on with my Yakuza 6 playthrough, all right? Wednesday, returning to God of War, and then Wednesday night, more than likely, either Yakuza or something else. Then probably Thursday will be more Bloodborne, if not the conclusion of Bloodborne, with PUBG at night. See what I mean? So we're kind of alternating between God of War and Bloodborne and PUBG and Yakuza 6 for this week. I figure that's a good way to keep, you know, different games in the lineup. It's not just the same stuff. It won't get stale or anything like that. All right. Now, coming up this weekend, I am planning on doing another session of Ultra Street Fighter 2. And it's probably, again, going to be on Friday. Reason being, that way I get enough videos saved up so I have some videos to upload during my day off, which is going to be Saturday again. All right, makes sense to do it that way. So more than likely, it'll be, you know, Bloodborne today, then God of War Monday, Bloodborne Tuesday, God of War Wednesday, maybe Bloodborne Thursday, God of War, and then, Ultra Street Fighter 2 on Friday. Okay? So there you go. So it should be a fun week. You know, 5 games that I'll be alternating between. Pretty interesting, pretty exciting. And hopefully entertaining to you guys. You know, I want to be obviously be putting out stuff that's going to be entertaining for you. So that's how I'm going to tackle it. All right. Now, I have a proposition for everyone. I want to talk to you guys quickly, very briefly here on pre-stream about the second half of this month. Because I've been looking into the different releases that are coming out the second half of this month. And I have some ideas, and I want to run them by you and see what you guys say, okay? So here's the deal. The second half of May, there's 4 different major new releases coming out. 4. I know, all within like a week's time. It's pretty crazy. So on the 22nd of March is the standard release of State of Decay 2, meaning for all people who buy the game normally, State of Decay 2 comes out that day, plus H1Z1. Is coming out for a PS4. Now, H1Z1 is a PC free-to-play game that's been out for a million years. Early access game, whatever you want to call it. Most PC gamers are, like, not even don't even really play the game anymore. And it took this long for the game to get a console release. All right. Did I say March? It's May, guys. Obviously May. So the 22nd of May, the State of Decay 2 release, and also H1Z1 for PS4. So immediately that's tough because two new releases on one day. It's hard to cover them both, especially because I know a lot of people will want to see one or the other. All right. Makes sense? So it's kind of tough. It's kind of tricky. What should I do? What should I do? I'm not sure. I'm going to think about it. Okay. Then later that week on the 25th of May, it's going to be Detroit Become Human. All right. And then on the 29th of May, so all within 1 week, the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. it's going to be very tough to be juggling State of Decay 2, H1Z1, Detroit Become Human, and the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection within one day. In fact, within 1 week, excuse me. In fact, let me tell you, just, being real with you guys, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, how am I going to cover all those games? Something's going to have to suffer. And the bottom line is, I really like State of Decay, I really like Detroit, and I really like Street Fighter, so it's going to be hard. Like, how do I choose each day? What do I play and what's going to suffer? So, here's what I'm thinking, alright? Here's what I'm thinking, guys. This is interesting, and it's something that I may do as a rare thing just because of the timing of game releases. I want to throw it by you guys and see what you think. So, if, instead of buying the standard version of State of Decay 2, which is actually only $30, $29.99, all right, United States denomination. Instead of buying that version of the game, if you buy the ultimate version of the game, which supposedly includes downloadable content, possible future DLC expansions, etc., it costs $20 more. It's $50 instead of $30, but you get 4 days advanced access to the game on Xbox One and PC. So I'd be able to play it on the 18th, Friday the 18th, okay, instead of the 22nd. And that would give me a large amount of advantage to play that game over the course of the weekend before H1Z1 comes out, all right? I'd be able to, get a big chunk into the game, and then when H1Z1 comes out, by the time it does, people will be like, well, maybe we're getting bored of State of Decay a little bit, so let's do some variety. Now switch in some H1Z1. See what I mean? And then, later that week, when Detroit comes out, since I'll be playing State of Decay for a week, maybe I'll actually have beaten it, or at least gotten far enough into the game that taking time away from it is not a big deal. My concern is that State of Decay, only playing it for 2 to 3 days before Detroit is not enough time, and then when Detroit comes out, I have to play that game hardcore for like 2-3 days in order to get through it, and maybe even try to do a second run. And then when the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection comes out, now I want to play the hell out of that game. I want to make it a main game that I cover like crazy because there's so many games and so much content within it that I know everything else is going to have to kind of go on hiatus. You know what I mean? So I'm really nervous that I'm going to get caught up with a million things. So I'm almost thinking, all right, that playing State of Decay early may be the way to go. All right. Plus, by the way, State of Decay, if you guys aren't aware, State of Decay has some story, and it's rescuing a lot of people, doing a lot of open world zombie stuff, but it's also the kind of stream that would lend itself pretty much to being interactive. I remember playing State of Decay 1, and it was really fun because I remember talking with stream chatters during it. Like, it was actually one of the rarities of a game back then where it's not a game that can really be spoiled, per se. So a lot of people were talking with me in stream chat and giving me recommendations of things I should do. Remember, this is a game where it's open world. You can liberate different outposts, recruit different people to your teams, and level them up with their skills and take them on missions with you. And go on open world side quests for looting or rescue missions. And then you can level up your base for like tower defense against zombie waves. And then there's a story that it progresses with too. So it's a lot of fun. And I think that's going to be a great game for like, streaming in particular. It should be quite entertaining. So what do you guys think? Do you think that it would make sense to pay a few extra, $20 extra to not only, of course, get all the Season Pass content, for a game, all right, so that I could go back and play it later, but also to get a few days early access so that I can play it early and get enough into the game before we get into newer stuff. Because again, not that it's a big deal. Like H1Z1, is it a big deal? Of course not. It's a game that's been out on PC for ages, but I know some people will at least want to see me play it a couple times. But my real concern, even if I ignored H1Z1, even if I don't play it, okay, my concern is that only playing State of Decay 2 to 3 days before Detroit Become Human is not enough to get far enough in the game and beat it for sure. And then having to hardcore play Detroit Become Human for a few days, right, before the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. And then when Street Fighter comes out, now the other two games go on hold and they're unfinished. That's my major concern, all right? That's my major concern. So I think doing it early in this case is one of the rare editions, rare situations where it may make sense for me to actually pay a little bit extra to get more out of it, all right? But I'm going to play it by ear. I'm going to try to listen to what people have to say, all right? And if people have a different opinion, just say, you know, this or that, I'll listen. But for the bottom line is I think it makes sense to play the game a little bit early so I can get far enough into it to maybe even beat it before Detroit. Then I can focus on Detroit, get through that, and then get to the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. I think so. Okay? Bambino, why would I play the Detroit demo? I'm playing the game 100% on release. I love all David Cage games, and I am not going to be, you know, having second guesses. I'm just going to play the game at launch, so. All right. So there you go, guys. I'm throwing that out there. I'd love to hear your feedback. You guys know how to give me feedback. You can email me. You can tweet me. Oh, by the way, and I should bring this up as well, the forums. Normally I would say, oh, you could go post up on the forums. They're still down. They're still being upgraded. The forums have been down all weekend. The website has been down all weekend. TheKingOfHate.com in general. That's intentional. It's not, oh, no, the servers crashed. No, it's intentional. It's intentional. We're upgrading all the stuff for the first time in over 2 years. Everything's being upgraded. When the site goes back up, you will not initially see any changes, although it might run a little better. But we had to do a hardware upgrade before we could then do any kind of software upgrades. So it just needed to be done. This had to be done this downtime before we could implement any kind of you know, improvements or anything like that. So we'll see how it goes and go from there. But that's what I'm thinking is it should be up by tomorrow. That's what Onyx, you know, the mighty Onyx is my webmaster. He told me it should be back by tomorrow unless something, you know, goes wrong. So I guess we'll see. But the truth is, right now, I really don't need the website that much for anything. As you guys know, I just had Ask the King on Thursday, which is my Q&A show. And I really don't need to do anything with the forums until next weekend. So I think we're good in that regard. So, all right, guys. So that is it. Just a recap. Bloodborne today. Tomorrow, God of War and PUBG. Tuesday, Bloodborne and Yakuza. Wednesday, God of War, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do Wednesday night. Hell, maybe Wednesday night I'll just do a one-off stream of Call of Duty or something different, just for variety's sake, right? And then Thursday probably will be more Bloodborne and Yakuza to finish off maybe the Bloodborne playthrough, I don't know. And then Friday, Ultra Street Fighter 2, and then we'll play by ear and see how things go, all right? Now, one other thing, guys. One other thing. Bloodborne. One thing that people have been asking me, will I continue on with the Chalice dungeons? Okay. I don't know. I did attempt the Chalice dungeons the first time I played this game in 2015. And two things happened. Number one, I really didn't like them. I thought they were boring. They were a repetitive grind. Quite annoying. Because they were set up to be purposely annoying. And they all look the same. It's not like there's variety to these Chalice dungeons. They're pretty boring. And then the bosses, a lot of times, are just rehashes of bosses you've already fought in the game. A few cases where there's different bosses. But, you know, after doing the Chalice dungeons for like 4 or 5 hours in my original playthrough, I couldn't beat a certain boss. I got bored as fuck, and I just stopped doing it. Alright? Now, some people have told me, well, we would have liked to see it. But the thing is, I purposely remember, back then, no one was watching me do these Chalice dungeons. The streams had low attendance, and people weren't watching the videos. And this was 3 years ago. All right, this was before my viewership dipped on YouTube and stuff like that. So we're talking back when I was a lot more popular. Stuff had already declined to the point where I said it doesn't make sense for me to keep doing these dungeons. All right, so I don't know if I'm going to do them. I'm debating it. If people really are digging the Bloodborne streams after I beat the old hunters and I finish the game and everything, then I would consider doing it. But only if people were 100% on board and said, we really want to see you do these dungeons, then I would consider continuing on. But for the most part, I don't think people are going to like seeing it. I really don't. I don't think people are going to enjoy it. It's really is a boring grind to the end, and I know that firsthand from doing it 3 years ago. Okay? So I guess we'll see. It's again, primarily it's up to you guys. So I guess we'll find out what happens as we get closer to it, okay? All right, that's pretty much it, guys. Let's go into quick plugs, and then we'll get started. So I'm going to do a quick plug segment and some shout-outs for those who have cheered, subbed, and tipped so far during the stream and also during my time off yesterday. And then we're going to begin with Bloodborne, the Redemption Run. All right. So, thank you guys for the viewership. both on stream and on YouTube. In particular, thanks for the great views on YouTube for that launch week of God of War. I appreciate it because the streams were slow. Thank you for the great day of streaming I had back on Friday. Both Ultra Street Fighter 2 and PUBG did well. I hope that Bloodborne also today brings in the attention that, you know, my streams usually get. Because like I said, it was so slow during God of War. It was good to see that come back. And I hope we can maintain that, all right? So, if you are a viewer of my stuff, thank you very much for your support. I really do appreciate it. However, if you'd like to go above and beyond just being a standard stream viewer, and you'd like to contribute in another way to allow me to keep doing this full time, every single day putting out fun gameplay streams and on-demand videos for you on the internet, there's many ways that you can help out. The first, as I've already mentioned, all right, is Patreon. So patreon.com/DarksidePhil. I've already mentioned if you pledge $5 or more to this month, you'll get in on the Patron's Choice playthrough. All right. Just throwing it out there that there are other perk levels as well, like getting premium forum access, getting thank yous in my videos, as in the form of shout-outs and or credit rolls, getting a private Q&A video made, stuff like that. I'm not going to go into detail about it. Check it out for yourself at patreon.com/DarksidePhil. But just a reminder, $5 or more by the end of this month, so that's a day and a half left to pledge to my Patreon. And if you do so, you'll be nominating and voting on games for the next Patron's Choice Downtime playthrough. FYI, previous games have included stuff such as Super Mario Sunshine, various Sonic the Hedgehog games, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, Persona 4, various Yakuza games, all real fun stuff. And I love the Patron's Choice playthrough because usually it allows me to open up and play a series of games that normally I would not be familiar with and or would not be in my normal repertoire. So I'm very excited to see what people nominate and vote on for this Patron's Choice because we have not done one in quite a long time, okay? All right. So, there you go, guys. That being said, let's move on. In addition to Patreon, there's my Teespring, my merchandise shop, where you can buy t-shirts, primarily, but there's also stuff, too, including, like, sweatshirts, hoodies, stickers, mugs, all kinds of merch. My mug, in particular, I use every single day on stream, and I wear the t-shirts from time to time. I was just wearing one of the shirts on Friday when I played Street Fighter. Great quality stuff. I can personally attest to it, because I own a bunch of the shirts and the mug myself, so I know they're really good. And anything you buy from my Teespring shop gives me a pretty sizable commission that helps me out. So thanks to anyone who has done so in the past or is considering doing so in the future. You guys are a big help, all right? So thank you, thank you. Give it a look. And then last but not least, guys, okay? Excuse me, I knew that was coming. I was waiting. I was like, where's this burp? It's stuck. I hate when you get a burp stuck. Excuse me, I obviously did not intend to do that, but I had to get it out. All right. Last but not least, guys, if you're here live on the stream and you're getting hyped for Bloodborne, you love the Bloodborne stuff, you're happy I did the redemption run and I'm getting to the end now where we're finally going to get to the old hunters and all that. There's 3 ways that you can get shout-outs during the stream. You can either cheer with bits, you can subscribe to my channel, or you can tip me, okay? If you do any of those 3 things, I'm going to give you a verbal shout-out during the stream, and I am appreciative of that. In addition, as you guys see, we do have the leaderboard up, so I'm going to keep a running tally of subs, as well as the top cheerer and top tipper, and in particular, I will update that shortly because we do have a top cheerer for today, all right? But there's some ground rules. Number 1, please be as concise as possible. The shorter worded you are, the higher chance it is I will give you a full shout-out on the stream and read your message. If you are doing a 5-paragraph shout-out, I'm not going to read it on stream. It's just going to distract and take away from what I'm doing, and I'm not going to bother with that, all right? That's number 1. Number 2, if you are going to, try to get a shout-out, please be positive. Please don't bring up, oh, did you hear someone said something negative about you, Phil? Did you hear a YouTuber made a negative video about you? What do you think about this negative thing? Or, in particular, don't try to bring up controversial topics like politics, religion. This is a gameplay stream. This is not some kind of a heavy discussion stream where we're going to get into these kind of issues, all right? In general, 95% of people get it, but every once in a while you get someone who just wants to try to stir the pot and try to get people riled up or get me, try to bait me into saying something silly or stupid, and I'm not going to entertain that stuff. So if I see that, I am not going to give you a shout-out. I am not obligated in any way, shape, or form to give anyone a shout-out. But if you are positive and if you are nice and you abide by the rules, you should get a nice one. And in a lot of ways, people who shout out really contribute to the streams positively, so it's a great thing. All right. That's number 1. Number 2, guys. If you would like an on-screen thank you animation, all right, to pop up for your contribution, well, if you cheer 50 bits or more, or if you subscribe to the channel and then you wait a few minutes, and there's a share button that should appear. If you click the share button, that'll happen. Or if you tip me $5 or more. If you do any of those three things, you will get an on-screen thank you animation. Special shout out to Popsicolo for designing those for us. Longtime viewer, fan, and chat moderator. Thank you, sir. So yeah, those animations really do significantly add to the streams, in my opinion. And so I hope that you guys do actually enjoy those animations, and some people will, try to take advantage of that. All right, so both visual and verbal recognitions for your contributions. Two quick things before we get to shout outs. Number one, we are going for subs this month, guys. So we have a subs goal of 475 subs. We fluctuated. We get close and then we back down, and then we get close and then it backs down again. So it is what it is. Right now we're at 437 subs. I'm sure that'll go up and down again today. Actually, I take it back. We might have actually gone up or down during the pre-stream. I actually didn't double check it. And now the sub count command doesn't seem to be working. It was just working before, and now it doesn't seem to be working. So I can't even confirm what we're at right now. I'll have to double check later and see if it starts working again. But anyway, yeah, for your subscriptions, obviously, you get some cool stuff. If you subscribe to the channel, number one, you get access to all of our emotes. Number two, you'll get access to the sub crown badge, which happens in stream chat. You start out as a bronze crown, and then after 3 months of being a sub, you get a silver. Then 6 months becomes gold, and after a year, you get some rubies on that crown. Pretty nice. But also, when I run ad breaks, which I at least do 1 to 2 for major streams, you don't have to watch the ads. You get to skip the ads. So all things benefit you, and then obviously, you help me out by subbing to the channel as well. There also are higher tier subs if you'd like to contribute more and get access to another exclusive emote, and also help me out even more. So thank you to people who do that. I appreciate it. All right. So there you go, guys. Now, number two, if you're wondering, how do I tip Phil? Well, because, you mentioned cheering, subbing, or tipping, but I see cheering and subbing right here through Twitch, but how do I tip? I don't understand that. Well, there's two ways you can do it. Number one, if you're watching the stream live right now, and you go below the pre-stream, there's a big grid of information there, and on this grid of information is all kinds of interesting stuff, like a link to my website, a link to my YouTube channel, DSPGaming, and the stream rules, which I very strongly recommend you read the stream rules. Very important to know and understand them. All right. But, in addition, there should be a section there that says tips, which shows a picture of me posing with Pokemon, and if you click on that, it'll take you to the tips page where you can either leave an anonymous tip, or if you want to get a shout-out during the stream, you can leave a name and a message. All right. Now, if you're on mobile, all right, you may not see any of what I just described. It may not be below the stream. All right. If you're on mobile, you could type !tip into the stream chat, and Nightbot should bring up the tips command. However, Nightbot does not seem to be working properly today. I don't know why. Nightbot is misbehaving. Sometimes Nightbot is working, and sometimes it's not. I just tried it, and the tips command is not working. I'm hoping Nightbot will start working again. All right, but right now the commands aren't seem to be working because Nightbot must be having some problems today. It is what it is. But normally, if you typed !tip into the stream chat, it would be putting in the tips link where you could click on it and go to the tips page. It stinks. I don't know what happened here, but it is what it is, guys. Hopefully, Nightbot gets fixed. I don't think it fell asleep or anything. I just think that Nightbot is crapped out. Or for some reason, is Nightbot even not even in the chat right now? I don't know what's going on. Because Nightbot was in the chat earlier. And no one timed out or banned Nightbot. So I have no idea why Nightbot would not be in the chat besides maybe it's actually down completely. That could be. It could be that Nightbot is completely down. Weird. I'm curious if I log into the Nightbot on my PC, if I could actually still... All right. Let me very quickly, since we're here live on pre-stream, let me go see if I can figure out what's going on, because I could log into the Nightbot page and see what's going on. Maybe it'll have an update. All right, give me a second. Let me look into this quickly. Maybe I can fix this quick. Let's try to figure it out. Let's see. Here's Nightbot. that track is gone. Part channel, but it didn't part. It's just so weird. I have no idea.